What's happening, people? How's it going? Population Nation here. Now, if you are someone who subscribes to my channel, I haven't got many, I know, or you've watched some of my videos, you may have noticed that the last two Star Trek Picard Season 3 episodes I didn't make a recording of. Uh, Two reasons mainly. One was I wasn't particularly well them weeks, and I was also busy with other things. And secondly, by the time I did get round to it, it was like there'd just been so much out there already, and I, basically I was just I didn't know what angle to come at it with. So I'm making this video now before the final episode is out later on tonight. So I wanted to talk about this is what you call it. This is for those people who have watched up till episode 9 and the reveal of the Red Door. I'm taking it you've watched them up to that point, right? So no spoilers. Now I said a while back that I get these sort of premonitions, right? It's really strange because if I think something's going to happen, and I say to somebody about what I think is going to happen, it doesn't happen. But if I keep it to myself and I don't tell anybody and it happens, and then it happens, and I'm like, I thought that was going to happen, they could just say, oh, well, yeah, of course you did. Like, so I tend to, just keep it to myself, keep my mouth shut about these things nowadays, like. But I have noticed, and this has happened a few times now since I've been doing YouTube videos, where I have said something on one of my videos, not really making a big deal about it. I just dropped a comment or said something, I'm not one of these big fan theories type people. But then it's happened. And I said to my girlfriend, wow, this is really weird. I made a video and said this in my video like 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I'm glad it's actually on video because it proves that I was on about, like one of them was, I was talking about my friend who I know who works in the industry told me something, and it was only a little irrelevant thing. But then a couple of weeks later, other people were putting it out, and my girlfriend just happened to see me rewatching one of my videos, and she said, yeah, you mentioned that. And I was like, yeah. So this actually lends a bit of credence, to stuff that I said. I'm so glad that happened, because I don't want to be Mark Zero, or known as a bullshitter or whatever. Like, it's nice when things are right, you get it right. Um, you know, so yeah, I've come to Star Trek Picard Season 3, and I reviewed the trailers, and I wasn't impressed. Was not impressed in the slightest. In fact, I'd go so far as to say they were sort of a bit off-putting. But I was also saying at the same time, I've heard there's a few different people sort of in charge, or maybe not in charge, but like Terry Metalis has done a lot of the writing, and he worked on was it Deep Space Nine, and I don't know if it was TNG or Voyager, but anyway, he the vibes were, he's a Trekkie, and he's worked on it, and he's got a lot of passion for it. And the season 3, he's basically got a lot of the input, and heard that Kurtzman had sort of, even though he's still credited as executive producer, he's sort of not had that much input. Like, and what was it? Oh yeah, that was it. And the rumours going about, they're getting their old crew back together, which to me just seemed like a bit of a stunt. But then, the reasons behind it, saying this is the season that fans have wanted, and more people started sort of getting behind it. So I ended up saying, my piece of advice was watch it and make up your own mind. Now, I remember after Game of Thrones, it left a bad mouth in a lot of people's bad bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Yeah, and people were, proper hating on it. I actually thought season 6 Game of Thrones started going downhill. 7 and then 8 was just, blame Dan and Dave for that. They were offered extra help, they wouldn't take it. Their egos got too big, and their passion had gone out, and that was the result. But when it came to like House of the Dragon, all these people, these YouTubers, loads of them were saying it, not gonna watch it, how are they gonna fix that? And I knew House of the Dragon was gonna come out and be brilliant. So far, season 1 has been, and I knew it would be. Unfortunately, I wasn't really doing YouTube things back then. But I would have been one of them people saying, no, no, wait, you're gonna have to give it a try. Like I say, Picard season 3, even though I picked fun and even said some bad things about the trailers and whatnot, I was hoping beyond hope it'd be good, and it has been. Until these last 2 episodes. I mean, there were some lovely touches in there. I've always said I don't like fan service and Easter eggs and member berries. Just make a good story, a good script. If you're using stuff from the past, as long as it ties in properly, that's good. But when you saw Law and Data with the divide, and you take the divide down, and he's looking at his trinkets, he got his pipe, and then the bit where he pulls down his little memory thing of Itachi Yar. I thought that was quite touching. It was a nice callback. People would say member berries, fan service. I just said that. I would say that was a nice touch. It needed to be there. It was. Data always had because she was only in like season 1, I think, or I know she was certainly the first character to get killed off, but he had that one night fling with her, didn't he? He had a sort of special connection with her and kept that, And then when he pulled out Spot, I actually, briefly at the time, was feeling a bit emotional anyway, but I actually got a bit emotional with that. It's like, he's saying this creature, you know, taught me to love and passed him over. And at that moment, I actually knew what Data was up to then as well. I thought, Data, I know what your plan is. This is how we're going to get Data back. Yeah, it was a good scene. So far, I've been saying good things about Picard season 3, but the last 2 I didn't make a video because there was things that I noticed that stuck out to me really bad, call them bad plot points or plot holes or um, MacGuffins or whatever. There was just things that happened that really shouldn't have happened or have been forced to happen to make the plot keep going. And I thought they were quite cheap and I thought they were quite nasty. I've seen another guy, he's got a really big YouTube channel actually, that I saw a few days ago, and he was saying he was loving it up until a certain point, and uh, one of the things I did say, and it wasn't a theory or I was saying I think this, but because I was going on about Data, the amount of ways they could bring Data back, because he's not in the trailers, is he? You know, the one bit where you see Geordie saying "law." Actually, when I saw that in the trailer, I thought if we're going to see Law, we're going to see Data. That was what I was thinking, but I went on a rant once about Data, how they could bring him back because it's not the full crew about him. I said they could do it this way, they could do it that way, and like I say, I wasn't foreshadowing, I wasn't fan theorying or whatever. I was just basically making a rant of it, but I was thinking, Data needs to be there. There's many ways they can do it, blah blah blah, and yeah, they brought him back. And to be honest, I quite like the way in which they did it. It wasn't a way, like I say, I thought of many ways they could do it, but I didn't think of that way, and I quite like that way. Yeah, I think that was quite clever. Um, yeah, it got there. But then also, I mentioned about is it automatic syndrome or whatever, in Picard's brain, and they're taking him, and that's what they want. And I actually said in one of my videos, just casually, um, why would they want Picard unless, well, it could be something the Borg have done. And I also said as well, for it to be this big of a bad and aim sort of a term, it's gonna be someone from his past and old adversary, which the Borg are. I'm glad when Jack opened the door and it was an original Borg cube rather than the new Gerardi Borg whatever from Card 1 and 2. Oh, but yeah, I'm now thinking like, because this is really the closest, infiltrating all the ships and Starfleet, slaving them all to each other, overriding the commands. I mean, airfare's aft, isn't it? You know, they can get into the computers. And what have they got to do? Like, so they've got the ships. So they've now, even though they can teleport next to anything, somehow beat the outer defences, and then I don't know. It seems a bit what's it, and the only way they're going to stop it. I mean, they've got one ship. You can't really make a speech, so this is either going to have to come from Jack himself, or maybe some good changelings are going to come to the rescue to help, or dare I say, the good Borg. Um, like I say, I'm not really a fan theories type of person, but I have been thinking now. Whoa, you've taken control of the whole federation, slaving to the system. Is there not a virus they can plant to to get it off, as they know, like they did with species 8472 as and flew anti-nanons out there. How the fleet's fallen for it, I don't know. So, like I say, final episode will be watching in a couple of hours, and like I say, I didn't make previous 2 videos. Just the main thing was how they stretched it out. Jack, he surrenders to Badik. Oh, how appropriate for you to be here, Seven. Anyway, that doesn't happen. And then, but then yet again, Council Tree gets on board, and really, if it wasn't for her getting into his mind and starting the ball rolling, and then getting out of there so easily, and going to the Borg Queen and getting captured, all conveniently in time for the big celebration. To me, that's what put me off making a video, actually, because I don't want to be a hate watcher, and you know, it stopped me from liking these episodes to something's getting a bit, I don't know, the writing slipping a bit, and I hate this. Like with the prequel trilogy, Star Wars prequel trilogy, everything happened exactly how the Emperor wanted. How did he know that all them things had come together and happened exactly how they would do for it to happen? And it seems, and there was many things that could have stopped Jack getting there in time for Frontier Day celebrations. Now it kind of ruined it for me. I mean, I think this is one of the biggest major threats ever. And there's only going to be certain people who can fix it. They're going to have to go up and blow this cube up. They've got to rewrite everybody else's DNA or make some shielding against it. But they're one ship against the others. And I hope Seven and Rafi, and I think Shaw will survive, actually, perhaps be very injured, but survive. And there's got to be other people out there, because like I say, you go anywhere near them in one ship, and well, we said old engines, old lasers, old technology. Yeah, quite interested, but like I say, it was just that whole, oh, he escaped right in time to get there right in time, and everybody was there right in time. Too much of a coincidence, too perfect. Anyway, people, Population Nation, let me know your comments, let me know your thoughts. Please subscribe, only a little channel, but every bit helps. Yeah, like to grow, and hopefully, well, I brought a computer and that lot. I'm still working on using it. So I'm not as young as I used to be, and my mind's struggling a bit. But yeah, hope to bring you some better content at some time. Better lighting, better sounds, get an intro going, all the rest of it, and start making this a bit more, a couple of times a week on different subjects. Yeah, I have much respect for the Star Trek fan base. I wouldn't call myself the biggest or loyalist in the world, but as I got older, I learned to appreciate it more. I learned to respect the fans of it more and what it stood for. And this new batch of Kurtzman Trek and that, it was bad entertainment of anything else. And seeing season 3, sort of break away from that and go a bit more in the traditional, what people wanted. That's why I haven't made these 2 videos. Don't want to pick too many grabs. Like I say, I have very little. But I can't wait to see how they handle it. Please let me know on your thoughts, any theories you have. But it's got to be more than a conversation between Admiral Card and whoever, or it can't be something really straightforward. It's got to be something clever, but big, and it's something that's going to have to contain consequences. And like I say, it's basically the sign at that final season of Picard, but it's not the end of Star Trek. And as said quite a few videos ago, I think Star Trek is the one franchise that can be saved. There's so many timelines, the vastness of space, different galaxies, different quadrants, different people, the diversity and inclusion, even though we don't really like them words. But it's a massively undefined universe with lots to tell and share and mysteries. Astrophysicists and the people look through the camera things, James Webb, find out every day. So there's no reason why many crews can't continue to go out there, push the boundaries of space, bring us interesting stories. Just get the right crew. And yeah, go off and explore. And the stories will just come into place. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and live long and prosper.